My teacher's extra help sessions were actually dates with my father. My daughter starts high school next year, and yesterday she asked me if I'd help her pick her classes. We sat at the kitchen table with the course catalog, and I felt my chest tighten when I saw calculus listed. She won't take it for years, but seeing that word brought everything back. I told her yes, of course I'd help, and that she can always tell me anything at all. I needed someone to tell me that when I was her age. I was 16 and failing calculus badly. My teacher, Ms. Winters, pulled me aside after class one day and offered private tutoring, twice a week after school, free of charge. She said I had potential and she wanted to help me succeed. My parents were thrilled. My father volunteered to drive me since it was on his way home from work. Every Tuesday and Thursday, Dad would drop me at the classroom and say he'd wait in the parking lot. Ms. Winters would give me a worksheet and then excuse herself. Personal phone calls, she said. Sometimes she'd be gone 15 minutes, sometimes the full hour. I'd sit there working through problems alone, assuming she was busy with administrative stuff. After 3 months, my calculus grade hadn't improved at all. My mother finally asked if the tutoring was actually helping. That's when things started unraveling. Mom called the school to ask if there were other tutoring options. The secretary seemed confused, said there was no record of any after-school tutoring sessions with Ms. Winters. No sign-in sheets, no documentation, nothing official. Mom confronted Dad that night. I was in my room, but I could hear them through the walls. Her voice getting louder, his getting defensive, then silence, and my mother crying in a way I'd never heard before. She came to my room at midnight, asked me to describe exactly what happened during tutoring, where Ms. Winters went, how long she was gone, if I ever saw her with anyone. I told her the truth, that I mostly sat alone, that sometimes I'd see Ms. Winters walking back from the parking lot through the window, the parking lot where my father waited. Mom didn't say anything else that night, but the next morning Dad's things were packed in the hallway. He left without saying goodbye to me. Ms. Winters resigned from school 2 days later. No explanation given, just gone. I pieced it together slowly. The tutoring sessions were a cover. Dad wasn't waiting in the parking lot. He was meeting Ms. Winters somewhere during that hour. They'd been having an affair and used my failing calculus grade as their excuse to see each other twice a week. I was their cover story, their alibi. My mother never said it out loud, but I knew. I'd been used. My academic struggle had been convenient for two people having an affair. They'd watched me stress about derivatives and limits and failing grades, and they'd used that pain as cover for their secret. I passed calculus eventually with a different tutor, but I never forgot the feeling of being someone's excuse, someone's convenient lie. My parents divorced that year. Dad moved across the country. We don't talk much. Every few years he calls on my birthday and we have awkward conversations about nothing. He's never apologized, never acknowledged what he did. I think he's convinced himself it wasn't that bad because I didn't know at the time. But I carry it anyway. The knowledge that I sat in that classroom alone, working through math problems, while my father used my failure as an opportunity to betray our family. Ms. Winters disappeared completely. I looked her up once years later. She's teaching at a school in Oregon now. Different name, fresh start. I wonder if her students know. I wonder if she thinks about me sometimes. I'm a mother now myself. My daughter is 13 and brilliant and trusts me completely. I will never use her as cover for anything. I will never make her unknowing participant in my deceptions. I will be the parent I needed when I was 16 and confused and failing calculus while my world fell apart around me. This morning at the kitchen table, looking at that course catalog, my daughter asked if calculus is hard. I told her it can be, but we'd figure it out together, that I'd help her find a good tutor if she needed one, that she deserves honest help, not someone using her as an excuse for something else. She looked at me strangely, said I was being intense about math class. I laughed it off, but tonight after she went to bed, I stood in her doorway and watched her sleep. This person I'd do anything to protect. This child who trusts me to guide her through algebra and calculus and all the harder equations of life. I thought about my father watching me struggle and seeing an opportunity instead of a daughter who needed help. I thought about Ms. Winters looking at a failing student and seeing a convenient cover story. And I promised my sleeping daughter that I would always see her. Not what she could provide me, not how she could be useful, just her, exactly as she is, deserving of truth and protection and love that doesn't use her as currency. The course catalog is still on the kitchen table. Calculus listed there among all the other classes. Just a subject now, just math. But for me, it will always be more. A reminder of what I survived and what I refused to pass down. My daughter deserves better, and I'm going to make sure she gets it.